Welcome back to the RationalInvestor.com's. What the hell are we calling this? I think we're calling it the Crypto Top 100 Review. I would imagine probably over time here we'll get a name. Yeah, looks that. Sounds like we're live on YouTube. That's good to see. Here, I'll put the mute on. Looks like we got 2 people watching the video here today, so looks like we got a full audience. Should have lots of fun. This is, I think, our 3rd episode. The first one I did was kind of a hack job. Then I had a couple gentlemen, actually 3 people from the site. Nick, Derek, and Ben all volunteer to help me out. Actually, I was quite pleased with the way last week's video went. And the feedback actually was great. So what the hell, we're back again. And I think the plan here is to just keep doing these weekly videos. I wouldn't mind getting a nice robust list of half-decent charts and maybe some half-decent overview. FA, TA, kind of opinion-wise, of sort of like the top 100 cryptocurrencies out there. Just so we have a framework to work with heading into the summer here. And, you know, maybe we'll make this a public document. I'm not quite sure. But we'll see how it goes. So first thing first, of course, my name is Brian Beamish, RationalInvestor.com. You know, you might see I do daily videos. Let's see, oh, that's you over there. Hard Made Easy. Nick, you're over on YouTube too?
Yep, that is me.
All right. So my name is Brian Beamish. You've probably seen some of my videos over the years. Coinigy, do daily brief recaps, publicly a broiler chicken show on the weekend. And we have 2 of the 3 assistants here this week. Ben is MIA. But actually Ben felt kind of badly about being MIA this week. And so he actually went and did a whole bunch of forward work in that he pulled down the next list of coins that we're going to do this week, these 10 coins, and he actually went through, did a little bit of a scoring system based on the screener model that we have on TRI that was written by an old, I think actually it was written by Da Vinci like years ago, if you know who he is. And also too some links to some outside sources. So, you know, we'll have some fun with the crew that we have on tonight. Thank you very much, Ben, for that. If I understand correctly, Ben had an anniversary today, so if he knows what's good for him, he knows where his priorities are. So have fun tonight, Ben, and hopefully we'll hear from you next Wednesday. So who does that leave us with here tonight? Well, we have Derek. Derek, do you want to say hello? Hello, Derek. I think he's here. Oh, maybe we lost him.
He just rejoined.
Oh, there he is. Well, why don't we start off with Nick? We'll give Derek a moment to get his head on straight. Hello, Nick.
Hey, Brian. How's it going?
Oh, good, good. We haven't really figured out how to do the cameras and stuff here. And I do know that a lot of people, when they watch these videos online, it's really helpful to see the person's face when they're talking. Maybe we can work towards that down the road. We haven't quite got our head on straight with regard to that. But these guys are coming in loud and clear. And I love talking to Nick. Nick sounds like he's just the man. So it's so cool. How you doing this morning, sir? Or this evening?
I'm doing great. Work has been really stressful lately, so it's good to kind of relax and talk some crypto.
Right on. Oh, so you don't work within the industry?
I do not work in the crypto industry, no.
Ah. Well, yeah, I suppose.
Not yet.
Not. Oh, hey. Well, okay. Interesting. Nice angle. Obviously, sounds to me like Nick would like to work within the industry as we go forward. And, you know, by all means, we've made some great relationships here over the years. I wouldn't even be surprised if there's people listening to this show that might even reach out to you after a while and go, hey, Nick, we'd like to have you part of our team. So maybe even that might work in your favor. What I learned tonight, I couldn't believe it, is, of course, my right-hand man who does the daily briefs on the show. He is from Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I heard that Nick was from that neighborhood. And so Kevin's probably watching right now. But by all means, hopefully we got a new local friend for you there. And also, too, I was letting Nick know that Bagra is also from New Mexico. And if you've watched me over the years, you'll know why I laugh when I say Bagra's name. But so I actually got two new friends for Nick in the New Mexico region. So that's that's a cool side effect of this show is hopefully we can connect some people on TRI locally there. So that's super cool. How are you feeling tonight?
I'm good. I'm ready to talk through some of these next coins.
Score. All right. Let's see if Derek has made it back. Derek was battling with the family, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, yeah. The family, we're on vacation this week, so yeah, I just lost my internet connection again. So I'm tethered to my laptop, and hopefully this connection stays strong.
All right. Well, anyway, good to hear you. And hey, great that both the boys did decide to come back tonight. Frankly speaking, I had no idea who was going to show up. So just the fact that both you guys still gung ho on our fun little project here.
Oh yeah.
Of course.
Well, fucking hey, man. And actually, I was really impressed. The feedback that I read through the week, people were really impressed with the very simple analysis overview that we did. It was kind of refreshing because half the time in this space, you just get fed a line 24/7 from these people, eh? So, all right. So as you can see from the screen, and the goal here. Ideally, I really don't want to make this like a marathon. Sometimes my videos on YouTube, if you know who I am, they can go on and on and on and on. So my apologies if I do talk too much, which I know I do. But we actually have a nice little focus list here for us to attack tonight. So maybe what might be a good idea, I think I see one of you down here, Anonymous Wolverine. This might be another one of you, Anonymous Chameleon. But looks like there's another person over here zipping around. Maybe while we're sort of getting ready, you guys can pop on, like I said, Ben put together a nice little sort of summary page, and you can kind of get a feel for what the story of the coin is before we sort of jump into the actual analysis of the name. I don't know. I mean, we're kind of winging this as we go here, everybody. Please don't be critical. We're just going to try our best. So let's see how it goes. So what do you think? Should we start off with this theta here and jump right into this?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Let's go for it.
So THETA. Where do you think the best place to look at this thing might be?
Probably Binance.
Binance.
Good place to start using.
KuCoin. Oh boy, look at this. They really are deep in Binance, eh? Oh,
Yeah, they're not
everywhere.
really. They're not. They don't really have. I don't think they trade on any exchanges in the U.S. yet. So.
Do we want to look at it versus U.S. dollar calculated by TradingView, or do we want to do something like a tether? What do you think's the best to go here?
I think they're both probably okay. The tether will actually go off like a pair, so it's like 100% accurate, where the other one is just kind of them trying to calculate the value of the dollar at any one time, I think.
Yeah, good point. Okay, so there is the chart, up and down like a horse, as they say. I suppose we can throw on just nice simple, these are the kind of studies I like to use, and I teach these studies on the site. Doesn't necessarily mean they're right or wrong, it's just a crazy way I look at the market. I guess why don't we start off with let's see what Ben thought of these guys. I mean, I guess before we get going, any particular thoughts from either of you two about this theta here? What makes them so special?
So I don't own any theta. I'll just say that right off. But I do kind of like the tech. It's like a decentralized streaming protocol. So think like YouTube, but decentralized. And so they have like some live streaming that's similar to like what we're doing now or over on like Twitch TV. And they can also kind of provide more of like a backbone to kind of help distribute videos. And so I like the idea of it.
Is that like library credits kind of thing?
It's more like it's a content delivery network. So like the last mile network. So the biggest problem with streaming right now is like bandwidth as you get closer to homes, like distributing it. So
Uh-huh.
what this allows you to do is basically you there that a lot of that video is cached if you opt in, right, to like almost like a staking type of scenario, and that data is then cached on your system, and it's easily distributable to to houses and to people locally,
Wow,
right?
fascinating.
Yeah. So there's a staking component to it. There it's a proof of stake. They have, I think they have, so I guess to be transparent, I own Theta, right? And so that's why I know a little bit about it.
You like the
Um,
story?
I like the story. I like I mean, it was so one of the, I guess, top advisors is one of the co-founders of YouTube. So that's where it kind of gets his YouTube, I guess,
Ah,
DNA.
yeah.
It has a lot of like large stakeholders, people that are going to run the validator nodes, like Google and Samsung, and these are confirmed, right? Because you hear projects coming out talking about they have a certain amount of stakeholders or people that they're working with, and they don't pan out. At least in the past, they haven't panned out to be such. And but this so far, what they said they've done. Once again, it's not like some things aren't always on time, right? They've had to push back a couple things, but like they're doing NFTs, they're doing smart contracts. They're already involved with what is it? E games, like e gaming. That whole market. There's something called
Yeah.
Sliver TV that they help power. So it's fully. I mean, it's operational right now. You can literally go there and stream on their protocol right now. If you went to like theta.tv, that's where you would
Wow.
go to see.
That's
So
cool. So I guess like because I've often asked Kevin if it's about time for us to think about leaving YouTube.
nope, theta.tv.
Theta dot TV. Okay, not even close.
Yeah.
No, just goes to show I mean, this is how bad I am. Is I'm looking for the .net address. So. All right,
Yeah,
so
so
this
right now
guy here,
there's
he's away killing people on video games and stuff.
yeah, there's
Yeah,
it's more about esports, that type of vibe right now, which I mean, that
yeah,
whole sector is growing,
sure,
insanely.
sure. I mean, people, it's surprising. Like, I want to actually. Whoa, that's interesting. I want to. Where the hell's that coming
To
from?
the International Space Station aboard a SpaceX Dragon capsule in February
Okay.
2017.
That's coming from
And it's been
somewhere. I'm not quite
operational on
sure
the
where. I
space
don't want to get
station
it. Oh, I
since
guess
then.
that's this. I don't want to get in trouble for playing stuff on YouTube. I'm not supposed to. So, like I said, I've challenged Kevin as to whether we should start thinking about moving away from YouTube, and really, that's the kind of thing that I think is our future. So that's super cool. And so these the videos that we saw, they're actually like cached in local people that stake the coins. They cache the videos on their local hardware.
Yeah, that's the way it's supposed to work. If you can
Mm.
run what's called a node, like a
Yeah,
theta node or edge
yeah,
node, and you can
yeah.
do some of the computation and you I guess in essence like you're donating some of your hard drive space and that type of thing, and
So
to,
it's
to build the
almost
cache
like.
thing. So
Do you remember folding coin? Remember when they used to do that? That was super popular. And then
yeah, I remember
also,
the
is there
folding that
like
used to be on like
you remember SETI? SETI also you used
Yep,
to be able
SETI.
yep.
to have your computer sort of locked onto their network.
Yep, it's the same thing. You can actually they have I forget what the node is called. They have a different type of node where you actually are doing those calculations.
Hmm. That is cool. Well,
Yeah,
I'm
they have a couple.
just because I would like to move away from YouTube. That in itself makes me very interested. Um, Technically speaking, I mean the whole damn crypto market looks like this, right? So it's a bit of a problem right now. It seems to me we're coming a little bit late to the party. Maybe if we look at it on a log scale, we might be able to make sense out of this. Yeah, there you go. So, all the slick people in the world, there's your buy signal right there. Right, nice little harami inside bar. And actually even have inside bars within inside bars. And your buy signal comes in right in here. So, unfortunately, that's, what is that? That's 10 cents. Here we are at $10, so that's like 100x. Are you buying value here? That's a tough one. How many coins are out? I bet you there's a bazillion, gazillion, jazillion coins out.
I think it's a billion.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a billion.
Yeah. So, the problem here, of course, is we do have a double top breakdown working. The market is working its way down. So I think, unfortunately, you just have to simply say, I mean, really, really simple. Keep it as simple as possible. This thing is trending down until we actually see a W on the other side of this line. Good part about that, though, is the market is pretty darn close. A lot of times when they lose this M out here, man, we can just puke out and be below this line forever. So, I mean, it's good to see that at least we're back up, fighting with it. And you can clearly see this is a significant resistance level. And unfortunately, this thing will probably be a sell if we M out below this line. Yeah, so you can see if... In fact, this is a pretty easy case here. All right, we either go up through the top here, back above this trend line, and that means we're probably going to take a stab back up against these highs, that trend line the other direction. Or we crap out, and this turns into a big fat M, and this thing's in trouble, and it's probably got to come back down, fill in the gap here. This big node here on the profile, big old notch. Probably, back to sort of regular chart, TA 101 kind of idea. You see, of course, trade location. So, if you do see the market zipping up here, woohoo! Of course, it's critical. Don't chase, don't chase, don't chase, don't chase. You might have said, well, there's a bull flag, 3 higher lows, Brian, I could take a shot going long. Great. If we lose these lows, you got to walk away. So, in essence, this failure right here, that was back the middle of April. We're already starting to get warning signs that there was problems here. Moving average cross. Now, market structure failure. We're definitely, this bull run. And keep in mind, 9 cents up to fucking $16. I mean, that's a hell of a bull run. A lot of big blue chip stocks don't ever do those kind of percentage runs. So I'd say probably now, along with the rest of the market, it's pretty straightforward. We're in this correction mode, cleaning up after, dog money and all that kind of silly talk. And really what you would like to see is you'd really like to see a W on the other side of this downtrend line. If you can get that, then, all right, we're ready to rock and roll. So, from a value perspective, we're not cheap anymore. This is getting expensive. That's $9. Value reload zones, that's $3, $4. So we're quite literally twice that price. Not really an outright sell signal right here. More kind of like, just sitting middle of the road. Maybe kind of waiting for sort of the broader market to decide. If we just all were sitting on pins and needles with the FOMC today. So I could see, if people are feeling a little bit happier, that we could rally our way up into this reload zone. And my target, if you were thinking about trying to trade, I like this little apex of trend lines up here, up against these highs. And of course, you probably heard me say in the past, I love candle bodies as trade location. So I actually do really like this level right up here. Be interesting to keep an eye on this one through the summer. I wouldn't be surprised if we're up there. Right now, a little bit too early to call a buy signal. Constructive. It's not terrible. It's not cheap now. It's kind of like middle of the road. As for actually trading this, no, I wouldn't do anything right here. We dip back down into these reload zones, fill in this notch, 200 SMA. I think you may have something, you could probably do a reload zone going back this direction. You notice candle body lows right in that reload zone. So if I was thinking about buying, I do like this level down in here against 200 SMA. It makes sense. And if I was thinking selling, there's that candle body high up there, this candle body high up there, and these candle body highs up in here. So anywhere in that area right up in there. So there's your resistance. There's your support. Right now we're sitting in no man's land. So, all right. That was pretty easy. What kind of vote should we give this guy? Let's see what you guys think. So, as I said, Brian's really interested because, hell, I like the idea of moving away from YouTube. So that does have me interested. It's not what I would consider egregiously overbought anymore. Kind of middle of the road, but I could definitely justify stepping in and maybe doing some nibbling, especially down at that notch right in there and those tails. That's not a bad level. That's about $6. All right, let's see. Derek, what does he say? Overall, own it. Investment, already have my cost basis out. Oh, cool. So you got a nice free position?
Yes.
Excellent. Always love that. You know, you people on YouTube, you're watching this later on, I'll tell you, this game is a hell of a lot easier to play if you're playing with the market's money and you don't have any skin of your own in the game. It just makes this game so much easier, trust me. So, good to hear, Derek. Awesome. And let's see. Nick says, bullish on the use case. And I guess that's kind of the same kind of message as I'm thinking here, eh? Maybe. I don't know. I won't speak for you. Nick, what's on your mind here?
No, it is. Like I've streamed a lot over the last, I don't know, 5 years over on Twitch, which is kind of a similar platform to YouTube for live streaming. And I think it has a lot of promise. I think decentralized streaming would be fantastic. I don't think the tech is quite there yet compared to like a YouTube or a Twitch, but I have hopes that it will be.
Cool. All right. Yeah, so work in progress.
Yep, definitely.
Hearing. All right, cool. No, I like it. So, I mean, and as I said before, you know, at least if you're thinking about participating in this story, I hate when they're zipping up like this, and it's just like, oh, this thing has to correct. It has to come back down to earth. So at least that's happened now. So at least now you're not walking into a trap. I mean, it might just flounder here for a while. And like I said, I don't know whether I'd really like that as a trade location, but hey, it's constructive. It's not bad. It's not the end of the world if you have to sit and bag hold there for a little bit. All right, and we'll leave Ben. Actually, what did Ben say here? Let's see what Ben said. So he said less than 25 million supply, so I guess he got no score there. Now, market cap above 10 million. I guess he liked that. New features in the last month. You know, from what I heard from you guys, these guys are working away. That's always a good sign. Trade history greater than 24 months. Have these guys been around a while? Yeah, I guess so, eh? Jeez, look at that.
Yeah, they have been.
Yeah. So, going all the way back to, ooh, they're old timers. 2019. Yeah, okay. Traded on 4 or more exchanges. I don't know. We saw Binance sure likes them, that's for sure. Traded on 1 exchange. Ooh, a -1 there. Greater than 1 billion supply. Didn't you guys say it was about 1 billion? Something like that?
Yeah, it was even to 1 billion, not greater, I suppose.
Yep.
Devs active in the greater than 6 months. I'm not quite sure about that. Google of scam. Oh, that's interesting. Maybe he did like a Google search of scam in the coin name. Looks like somebody did not pass mustard here. Oh, look at that. 3 different names. Yeah, that'd be interesting to talk about that when we get to that. And coin with trade history of 1 year or more at all-time lows. Okay, well, I give 0 on all of that. So, all right. All right, well, cool, Ben. Thank you so much for that. Totally appreciate that. And maybe when you come back next week, we'll just do a real quick of this. What's your vote here, Ben? So, okay. Yeah, it's an interesting story. Keep an eye on that theta. I like the sound of that. Okay, next one. WBTC. These are weird. These are all these DeFi things, aren't they?
Yeah, so a lot of times, like if you want to use Bitcoin as collateral, you normally can't in its native form, and so you need to wrap it through a protocol like Ren. I think Maker can do it maybe, but But either way, there's a few protocols that you can wrap Bitcoin and essentially make it an ERC20 token, an Ethereum token, and then you can use it as collateral on a lot of different Ethereum-based DeFi solutions.
So technically, it should just basically be Bitcoin.
It's Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just Bitcoin that you can use on Ethereum.
Yeah. So it's not, and this one happens, I guess they did this 188,000, or basically about 189,000 times. Is that how that works?
Yeah, and I think that's probably current. Because you can go ahead and wrap your native Bitcoin right now, even if they're at that supply. There's no cap as far as I know.
TVL ratio, is that, let's see what this says here. Ratio of market capitalization over total value locked of this asset. So basically it's trading at whatever the locked in value is. Is that what that is? Something along those lines. That wouldn't surprise me. Total value locked. There you are. So this is the amount of money. So capital deposited into the platform in the form of a loan, collateral, or liquidity trading pool. So geez, man, they've thrown in $7.5 billion into this thing.
I think that's just the people who have actually wrapped their Bitcoin. They've wrapped 7 billion worth of Bitcoin.
Okay. So pretty active, eh?
Yeah, I mean, it is very heavily used.
Are you using this?
I am, yes.
Oh, okay.
I have my wrapped Bitcoin deposited in Aave, which we'll talk about in a little bit.
Oh, yeah, it's coming down the pike here, eh? Ah, okay, cool. So how do we include that in this analysis? Do we say this is almost like a stable coin, like that kind of thing? Because there's like a few of these, like we said, stable coin, don't bother.
I mean, we can say don't bother, but yeah, it's essentially, it's going to follow exactly, or pretty darn close to exactly the same as what Bitcoin does.
All right. Why don't we then, we'll just shade it out or something like that, maybe.
Yeah.
Something like that. And then that way we know that it's a different one. But we should still probably leave those stable coins in there. We'll just shade them out maybe just so people go, okay, well, yeah, it is that number, but they didn't look at it. All right, what do you think? Should we hit the next one? EOS?
Sure.
I don't know. Is it worth looking at what Ben says here? Did you guys look into this, the link here?
No, I mean, it's
didn't really say anything.
It's Bitcoin.
Okay. All right, cool. All right, EOS. Let's see what the hell we got here. EOS. Who's that? EOS. Is this? Why do I want to say Richard Hart?
Dan Larimer. He did
Larimer.
Steam Network.
Oh, the Steam guys. Okay, cool.
Yeah, Steam and BitShares.
Yeah. So, remember Steam had a big fight with Justin Sun there, didn't they?
Yeah, he's on the list too.
I was like, speaking of the next coin we'll talk about.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, so which one do you think we should look at to get the most accurate view of this thing? Tethers?
It's probably reasonable.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, well, it looks like they kicked the stuffing out of this thing. So, it's weird. Like, I owned a whack of the Steam, but I bought the SBD, which was the Steam Bucks, I think it was. And actually, I got like 7x on my money, and it was supposed to be a stable coin. So, I don't know. Tell me the story here. Is it the same as Steam? Probably, I don't know.
So, I mean, all I know, I mean, Derek, you might know more than me. All I know is it's an Ethereum clone. It was meant to be more scalable, but I mean, ETH still has obviously plenty more traction, and you have some newer platforms like Solana that seem to be trying to do some of the same things as EOS to make it a better version of Ethereum. So it just doesn't seem to be getting a ton of steam right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would agree. Kind of what they're known for is they had a year-long ICO they raised like $4 billion. So I mean, they have, I guess their story through the whole bear market was, they have coffers to, sustain and that type of thing. So I mean, I don't know what people are actually building on there. I didn't see any big projects or anything. There is staking, but there's no supply cap. so it's infinite.
Yeah, I seem to remember there's quite a few of these out, isn't there? Where's our spreadsheet?
It looks
I
like
guess what they
looks like currently there's 960 million
Yeah, boy. So approaching
Yeah.
a billion here,
out of infinity.
right? Yeah. And this is so it has an unlimited supply. Is this POS or POW?
POS. So it's POS. I'm not sure if they have smart contracts. That'd be good to know if they have smart contracts in there or not. But I mean, supposedly they have about 1,000 transactions per second throughput. So I mean, they have, it is fast, I guess, if you're going to use it. And I think they developed, I want to say earlier, like they had developed some small games and that type of thing. People were developing on there, but I'm not aware of like any larger apps that are actually on there, or if they have DeFi on there. That'd be good to know too.
Anything in particular that launched it here? Was it really hot in the press or something? Or is it just the
Other than that,
Bitcoin inertia that lifted it?
well,
So
I think it launched.
go ahead, Derek.
No, I was gonna say it launched back in 2017, the summer or the spring, right before that ICO madness happened. They had already had their ICO,
Yeah.
and yeah, they were just kind of just building up, I guess, momentum and hype and all that. And I don't think, but like I said, I don't think they ever came out with anything, I don't know, sufficient.
Yeah.
So what I seem to remember is that kind of in that April-May timeframe, there was just kind of like a dinosaur coin pump. A lot of those like old coins, like EOS, like Tron, like
ETC, Silbert's name.
Like there were a lot of those that just kind of pumped all at the same time. I don't know what the impetus for it was, but it seemed like a lot of them went right at the same time.
Okay, so it wasn't any like specific development or anything that they were doing.
I don't think so.
Well, I mean, technically speaking, everybody should look at this and see a big honk and sort of W-ish type action down here. I think that should be pretty straightforward. So, if you're hunting for value on this thing, and of course, with an ever-increasing supply, that should change. I mean, everybody look at the value of the U.S. dollar these days. With the way their printing press is going and the talk about inflation. So, there's no difference in cryptocurrency. It's the same thing. So the good part about this is the crap out actually just brought it right back down to the original breakout level. And this is what they affectionately call in the marketplace a Wyckoff check. A gentleman back lived about 100 years ago. Richard Wyckoff, he was the one who sort of... like 100, 150 years ago, it was sort of like the first time in sort of the Western society that we had things like newspapers that published actual daily data of these assets that people could track and then start to actually graph and stuff. So a lot of the references that we make about technical analysis come from that world. So one of the sort of the icons, titans of TA, if you will, coming out of the 19th century into the earliest 20th centuries is Mr. Wyckoff. And he was actually really famous for interviewing W.D. Gann, who is a very aloof character. Actually, Derek, you're doing level 2 right now. So are you into W.D. Gann? Have we got you working on that? I think you're into Gann now, aren't you?
No, I don't think we got a W again yet.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
but no, we did again. No, we did again.
Right. I was just, in fact, actually, I was just tweeting out, I think with one of your fellow students, we actually figured out the bond market and where interest rates are going based on Mr. Gann's work, and that's the 8-to-1 lines. Do you remember that? I don't know did you do that assignment yet? And if not, why not get to work? What are you doing here?
There's so much candy in that store, man. I tell you.
Yeah, no.
It's a lot to get to.
Actually, it'd be interesting just to get your feedback. I mean, how's it going? Level 2, we hit them really hard. I mean, holy moly, the stuff that we hit these people with is extremely thick. So how are you doing?
It's so much. I mean, so much value is in it. I feel like every week I'm trying to catch up, and then the current week I go back to the previous week and kind of work through things. So I'm almost kind of a week behind essentially. But I mean,
Yeah, it might
you
take
know,
a
and
while for you to digest it all. It's a
yeah,
lot
once
of
you kind of can
information.
get the lesson and then get the follow up, and then actually go back and understand it and actually go through enough charts and that type of thing, and just being restricted on some time as well. But I mean,
And then
it's if anybody's looking for.
you got this idiot who's asking you to come on Wednesdays and do extra shows. This
That's all
isn't
good.
helping you at all, is it?
It's all good. It's all good.
All right, cool. And so Nick, I guess, are you doing the level 1 program right now, or are you? I don't know where you are.
I am, yeah. We're doing fibs.
All right, yeah, okay, cool, fib. And actually, I got to show you this tweet then. Jesus, I was just looking for it. Because in essence, it's like it's the most perfect juxtaposition of fibs and WD GAN. And both of them basically telling you to pay attention to a very specific level on the price charts. But of course, I can't show you until I can find the damn chart. What do I do with it? Come on. It's on here somewhere. Give me a second. Oh, here it is. Cool. So this is what the level 2ers are doing. And actually, this is kind of cool because it totally fits in with what Nick is doing. So the level 2ers right now, these purple lines, this is the 8-to-1 GAN angle off of this particular asset. These are this is the bond ETF. And the rule is with WD GAN that 8-to-1 angles are the shit. They are the best trade location you'll ever find. So it's so cool when you get things like reload zones and 8-to-1 angles lining up at the same level. So it's basically telling you, look, you want to sell bonds, this is the area to sell bonds. You want to buy bonds, this is the area to buy bonds. Right here, this is no man's land, and you're probably going to get chopped up trying to outsmart the traders. So I thought that was kind of cool, and it's an interesting juxtaposition. Derek is working along with purple lines trying to understand Mr. GAN, and Nick is working along these horizontal levels, their statistical measurements of range, and their Fibonacci ratios. So actually, that's kind of cool. Both of you are working away on that together at different paces. So looking at this image, I won't do the GAN angles, but my hunch is, well, I mean, I can just eyeball it. I'm not going to square up the chart because it's a pain in the ass to do, especially this short notice, but very simply put, I would want to do something along those lines. Yeah, there you go. So look at that. Can you see the 8-to-1 angle? Isn't that sick, Derek? Check that out.
It's amazing how all these numbers and angles work.
Yeah, it's fucking cool. So, and then to add to that, right, we think of things like fibs, right? There's Mr. Fibonacci and his reload zone. And notice, there's the reload zone. There's 88.6. And look, there's the POC. So, Derek, can you see how the POC is just doing nothing more than just... In essence, this is where everybody on the street is actually long this guy. And, you can use volume profile like this to help you. Just sort of see, where is the smart money long? Well, the smart money's long from $3 here. And gee whiz, what a surprise. There's the original double bottom. There's the 8-to-1, Mr. Gann's fucking kick-ass trade level. There's 88.6, and you can see how they just dipped it down. I always love 78.6 for trade location. And also, like I said earlier, that is a Wyckoff check of that original double bottom. So, needless to say, this isn't a bad area if you are interested in this EOS. See if you can pick some up down here at around, looks like about somewhere around $3. That's not a bad level at all. What do you think, guys? Are you enjoying yourself? You having fun here tonight? Hope you guys are enjoying this.
Learning every day.
Okay, but that doesn't mean you're enjoying yourself.
Oh, I love learning. So yeah, that does mean I'm enjoying myself.
Okay, good. Derek, are you enjoying yourself?
Yep. Oh yeah, I'm having a good time.
All right, good. And give the little ones hugs and kisses for me when we're done this too, right? Okay, so we got EOS on there. Bush. All right, so story-wise, I'm going to say TA-wise, interesting. I don't really know what the story is, and I don't know whether I hear any fundamental drivers to get me excited. All I'm going to say is, from my perspective, I like this sort of location, but that's probably about it for me. I don't know. Just before I finish, let's throw on some quick momentum. Yeah, nothing really to get too excited about. I don't see any monster W's here. Looks like volume's very quiet. If anything, this is a good sign. Because, I mean, the price is coming down. Somebody's selling, but they're kind of running out of oomph. And yet price is just sort of sitting here bobbing sideways. So like I said, technically speaking, it's very interesting. Now I just have to have a reason. Give me a reason to get interested in this. I don't have any reason. So what's your guys' thought? Nick says, not something I'm interested in. Okay. And what's your feeling here? Derek says, overall, not sure who is building here. TA, decent area. Okay, cool. Awesome. Okay. Oh, is this Mr. Sun? Tron?
This is Mr. Sun.
Oh, boy.
Hype man.
Oh, goodness. He's a character, eh? I mean, did they ever have their lunch with, what's his face? What was that guy's name?
No, but I think he got Warren Buffett. I think was what it was.
Yeah. Wait, he and 2 or 3 other of these crypto kids were gonna go have lunch with Warren Buffett and try and convince him of the beauty of crypto. And I guess that never happened, did it?
No, I don't think it ever happened. I think he knew it wasn't going to happen. It was more about the publicity for it, probably.
Yeah, probably, pretty much. Okay, so in a sentence or two, tell the good people what the hell is up with this Tron, because really I don't know the story. Anyone?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Nobody
No, I think
knows?
so. What I know about it, obviously, Justin Sun is the founder and the guy that's the face of it. And I guess why he's important or is popular is that I guess in China he was one of the youngest, entrepreneur CEOs, and Jack Ma kind of supposedly pulled him under his wing, and he was invited to some university where he was the youngest one, and I guess Jack Ma handpicked these guys to come over and work with him. And then what I did see was that Tron it's actually being used on Poloniex for their their initial exchange offering platform. So I mean, it is being used on there. I've used it for transferring Tether, so it's fast to transfer Tether. If you want to transfer Tether to an exchange, or from one exchange to another exchange, if you want to do that, I mean, it's fast in terms of that. But
so what does that mean? You're moving Tether, or you're going to buy Trons with your Tether and then move the Trons?
Move Tether to another net. If you want to move it fast, I guess you want to move Tether to another exchange. You can use a Tron blockchain.
Okay. I remember the Tether when I had it. It was on the Omni chain. Does that sound right?
Yeah, I think that's.
That was forever ago.
Is that the Bitcoin one? I think that's the Bitcoin one. The Bitcoin,
might be.
I think.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, now there's a couple other chains that it's on.
Okay.
It's an inflationary, so there's no supply cap on it.
Oh. So why would I buy this?
I mean, my answer is I wouldn't, but
right.
I mean, the darn thing went from like a tenth of a penny all the way up to like 17, 18 cents. I guess that's probably a reflection of the supply that's out, eh? But is there some sort of fundamental driver, or this thing's gonna reinvent the wheel or something like that? No.
I mean, like Derek kind of said, it is. I have also heard that it's used a lot in sending money essentially for free across borders. It's quick and absolutely free. It costs nothing to do that. But
that gets a lot of Big Brother kind of people pissed off, though, doesn't it?
It would.
Interesting. Now, somewhere I heard that Justin Sun was involved in that. When I bought some crazy fucking BitTube or something like that, and somebody said that he bought the thing. Are you guys familiar at all with that at all? Does that sound at all familiar to you?
I vaguely remember hearing that, and I think there was some
caveats
to that or something like that.
This BitTube. But then somebody a month or so ago said, Brian, he's not in that thing. That you're mistaken. So I don't know. Does that sound at all familiar to you guys?
I don't know either way.
No. All right. I keep pitching this story, and no, it's not sticking to the walls. So obviously, there's something flawed in my thinking. All right, that's here nor there. It doesn't really matter. Did you wanted something? Add something, Derek?
No, I was gonna say I do remember hearing something about that, but I don't.
Okay, so at least I'm not crazy.
I remember those two names linked somehow.
Yeah. Okay, so Tron itself, TA-wise, I mean, as I had started off the conversation, I mean, it should be pretty obvious where the technical breakouts are. I mean, you can see all these W's and all the action. Big buy signal. I mean, buy signal, that's tough one. Big breakout signal, we'll say. Through here, I mean, really nice that high. And when that high was taken out, you can even see there was a huge event when that high was taken out that day. Right there. So that was probably your big technical. Oh my God, all the technicians are going crazy seeing this this breakout here. So jumped up, off of broke up through that high. Couldn't hold on to it, and then just sort of mull, boom. Clothesline breakout through that high, probably pretty big confirmation signal. I like the idea that the buy signal was here. Down, up, down, breakout. So that's right off of this level. I wouldn't have a problem being long from there. 0.0327. I think that's the level. And as it should be plain as day, we're very, very late on this move. And in fact, what's bothersome here, you don't see this on a lot of coins, but on this coin, this top looks very, very well defined. BitTorrent, is that what it is? Thank you, RT. RT, that's your buddy, isn't it, Nick? RT, that's Colin, isn't it? I think that's Colin.
So yeah, once again, not Colin's buddy. I just like watching Colin on YouTube. Colin referred me here.
Cool. Are you not allowed to be Colin's buddy? Colin's a cool guy. I like him. Okay.
That's what it was. It was torrent, not tube. Okay.
Yeah. So BitTorrent. Anyway, thank you, RT. And please don't take offense if I say that you're Nick's buddy or Colin's your buddy. Not being offensive. So, point of the matter here is you can see where the uptrend line is. So, unfortunately, that's key support. Basically, you saw, like EOS, when it slammed down into the original double bottom, right? And that's probably what this is. This guy's Wyckoff check was right there. See that? So, it went, whoop, bang, slammed back into there. There was enough buy orders off of that level that it continued on its way. As I said there a moment ago, in fact, actually, you can even use the same logic here, right? We could have gone from this high off of here and said this is not going to be a buy until we start Wing out on the other side of this trend line. And hopefully you can see that, right? So rally up to there. Boom, boom. Are we a bear and just roll over here? Or do we break out above and there's your W on the other side of the trend line? That's your buy signal right there. Unfortunately, when we look at this is really bad because that is a very, very well-defined top. I mean, what the hell? I mean, you could buy it here at 6 cents and blow it out at 14, and what the hell? That's more than double your money. So there's nothing wrong with that. But unfortunately, what I see right now is this market is basically range-bound. Top end of the range, probably even down here, bottom end of the range against all these lows. But what the hell, we'll even say maybe that is your bottom end of the range. And it's basically going to play all in here. And we won't consider this, at least I won't, consider this an outright buy until we actually start Wing on the other side of this trend line. So just be forewarned. I mean, this thing might just launch straight up. And you can see there's a cute little W trying to form here. It might just launch straight up here. But once we get up into these candle body highs, you heard me talk about candle body highs earlier. Once we get up into this area, be careful. All right? And hell, you should be able to sell half on a double. And like Derek said, get yourself a risk-free trade. Fucking A, man. But once we get up into here, and if you did buy off of this level, and that's not a terrible level to think about buying. And it's a good old reload zone. You heard that Beamish guy talk about these, 61.8, 78.6s. I mean, it's not a terrible level. But once we get into this area, don't fall in love, right? Maybe sell half on a double, get yourself a risk-free trade, and then just cool your jets. So that's what I see right now. Actually, it'd be interesting to keep an eye on this and watch it play through the summer. Like I said, there might be actually a really nice window here. There might be a pretty good profit window there. Momentum-wise, it's actually what I said there earlier. Good to see that the sellers have just exhausted themselves. So all you really need is just give me some sort of buyer. Somebody step up here. And Nick, you just did the volume impetus module, correct?
I think that's later.
Oh, you haven't done volume study yet?
Nope, Fibs was just our first week in the candy store.
Oh, sorry. Point here is you will learn in the coming weeks that everybody is falling asleep here. And we're just waiting for somebody to wake up and take control of this market, right? Show me big, green, chunky bars and higher bars, right? That's the sign of the bull, nice and awake and driving the bus. And then, unfortunately, these big red bars, that's the sign of the bear, driving the bus. But notice, everybody has just gone to sleep. Derek, can you see that volume impetus? Can you see how everybody's just falling asleep here?
Yep.
So really, it's just a question of you just got to wait. Somebody's got to wake up and take control of this market. And, you can see the cute little W that's trying to form here. It's not a terrible location. It's just, I don't know why I would own this. And I like to, good old rational investor, I like to have some sort of fundamental driver, sort of leading why would I own this. Sadly, actually, a lot of the fundamental drivers in this space are, hey, this coin's going to be listed on Coinbase. Fucking A, 10x, here we go, woohoo. I want something more than that, please. All right, so there's your chart. Keep an eye on this little W. You can't really see, we always say, if you see the market smiling at you, be careful. Hey, that's ugly. But I used to call it, it's not a smile. I might call it like a smirk. But if you can see the market smirking, it's not really a smirk. But if you can see that pattern, that's actually not a terrible pattern to think about taking a risk off of. Yeah, so I would actually say location's okay. Momentum is firming. We might even get Davos. But there's just got to be some driver, some reason for this thing to pop. So, any reason? We'll say location good. Give me a reason. That's my note. And of course, the reason, if there was a good fundamental driver, you'd probably see volume pour in. All right, so Derek says, not interested. I would prefer something with a little bit of a story. Okay, cool. And Nick says, not something I'm interested in. All right, well, that makes that easy. All right. Shall we move on?
Looking at Ben's analysis, this is one of the ones that came up with the Google of scam in a coin name.
Oh, boy. Yeah. Interesting.
It's just...
And Mr. Tron, is that so? Mr. Tron and Mr. EOS both came up as scam coin screeners, eh? So that's interesting. I do remember EOS now. People talking about how this thing is just insanely huge. I do remember that. But Tron, I always thought Justin had a pretty good reputation. But it's interesting that would come up as a scam. So, bazillions of gazillions of jazillions of coins. Very, very low priced. We don't really have a reason to be involved, eh? Maybe Mr. If you're a fan of Mr. Tron, or Mr. Sun, I guess, and you do have a fundamental driver and you're watching this and you're like, hey, you guys aren't paying attention to this. Well, just let me know, okay? So Louise says, Louise Maja Uristugi says, this two new guys don't really know anything. I'm out. Well, I mean, I don't know whether you're still here, Louise, but anybody else who is watching, we're not here to be like sort of crypto experts. If anything, the purpose of this video is to actually be kind of like laymen. Where, we're just, tonight it's just three guys. We happen to like crypto. I happen to have a couple years experience trading charts, but so fucking what? And if anything, I don't want to have that over the top stuff. Where, the crypto guys, have you guys noticed crypto people can be incredibly arrogant? They're not very humble. I mean, really, people on YouTube watching this and watching this now, watching later, I mean, we're just a few guys. And
they like to disappear when the market is down.
Yeah, oh, you mean the trolls?
Yeah, well, not the trolls, the crypto guys. A lot of crypto guys and YouTubers that you see out there, they gain this big following when it's an up market. When the market's down, they kind of disappear and then they pop back up. So.
Yeah, in fact, I was, like I said, I went out and had a really nice dinner with a crypto guy tonight. And he was saying that it's remarkable how schizophrenic this space is. So, like, literally 2 or 3 weeks ago, you couldn't stop these people. And now it's like they're crickets. Where did everybody go? It's shocking. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, kind of going back to your other comment, though, I mean, part of it I think is understandable because if you let's say that you really believe in a coin or a protocol, and you are probably invested in it. Then you want that investment to go up. You probably know more than most people about what that protocol is doing, and so. Like I can understand where if we come out and say, yeah, we don't know of any fundamental drivers on EOS, that doesn't mean there aren't any. It just means we don't know about them. Yeah. And so, I mean, people can get protective over the coins that they're passionate about, and I can kind of understand that. But obviously it gets to a point where it can be unhealthy at times.
Yeah, you know what? I guess the message I want to get across to this Luis person and people like that is... we're not here to be, quote unquote, the expert. We're just a few guys who like this space and we're just talking markets. And we try our best. So, if by all means, we're not going to get this 100% right. If anything, a guy that follows my YouTube page here that I think the world of, he's an incredibly smart gentleman. And he's literally written a user's manual on trading, all from the notes that he's taken from watching my videos. He posted up here, EOS isn't a scam. So if Great Del Muti, you know who you are, if he's saying that this EOS isn't a scam, then I'd actually believe him. He's a pretty honorable guy.
So I think those like EOS and Tron in themselves are not scams. I think that fundamental screener just says, Google EOS and scam or Tron and scam, any of these coins and scam, and see what comes up. Because like there have been, say, DeFi rug pulls or something on EOS that could come up and trigger that as like EOS being a scam. It doesn't mean that. Like, I think that should probably be taken with a grain of salt. It doesn't mean EOS itself is a scam. I mean, but every blockchain, ETH has had plenty of scams on it, but we don't consider ETH a scam. Or at least I don't.
All right. So, yeah, and every once in a while, just for whatever it's worth, there are people on YouTube that just despise me, and they just love coming in and trolling me. So that might be that angle, too. Who knows? Okay, let's move on. Next one on our hit list is Filecoin, FIL. And I've heard lots of people, they just rave about this story. So let's hear the elevator pitch from you guys. Maybe you like it, maybe you don't. Tell me, why would I want to be interested in this thing?
So this to me is another one that I don't really care if I'm personally invested in it, but I love the use case. It's a distributed, what do you want to call it, like cloud storage protocol or cloud storage network. So you think of like you're saving all your files on Google Drive or something, but instead of it being on Google servers, it's distributed across their network. And I think this use case itself is it will be very valuable in the future. Kind of similar to like a Theta, but just a different use case with the storage.
Ah, okay. So Theta
Yeah.
wanted to primarily attack the video hosting kind of service, eh? And Filecoin is more like just raw files.
Yeah, just your
Yeah, so
cloud
it,
storage.
Uh-huh.
yeah, so it uses a protocol or a layer that's called interplanetary file system.
Uh-huh.
And basically, this is a way to that already exists, but this is a way to sort of monetize that, is what it seems like to me.
Cool.
Where you can't, yeah. So it's, I mean, I like the use case as well, and I think blockchain needs it. You need some place to store files, just like you need some place to be able to grab data and pull it into your blockchain. So I think it has value.
Yeah, well, that's interesting. Man, it sure has come off here, right? $70.25. So, I mean, I like the story. It sounds legit. I do know that, I guess the ICO. I do remember that there was a lot of hype around this thing when it came to market. I don't know whether this is the first trading date or not, but do you guys remember that? I remember when this thing came out, everybody was all the rage over this thing. There's another service that I seem to remember is similar like this. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. Okay,
There was one called Sia. Sia Coin was another one, I think, but I don't know if that ever really gained any traction. But I think they were trying to do some sort of file storage as
SIA?
well.
SIA?
Yeah, SIA, yes.
Yeah, or yeah, SC. I got a shitload of this thing. Oh yeah, look at that. That chart actually looks. Is that a bad thing to say? Sorry.
No, but yeah, Sia Coin is doing. It has a similar use case to Filecoin, as far as I know.
Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, I know. I got tons of this. I remember last cycle we made great money on this thing, and actually, I think I remember I went in and actually picked some more of this up down here. So, all right, okay. So I'm sort of cluing in a little bit. We won't do SC today. We'll stay on the file, but the charts sure look a heck of a lot similar, eh? Structurally, good old Brian and his funny little W's. I think it's, if you want to learn something to make money from trading, write this down, especially the trolls who think that this channel's a waste of their time. I used to have well, maybe you don't know. I use a commodities broker. So actually it's funny. We're going through all the commodities right now, and we're just looking for the next lumber because I actually know I can see a commodity market right now that is basically setting up exactly like lumber did. So I'd be curious if anybody on this crypto show would actually like to know which commodity that is. That's another conversation for another day. The point that I would make out here to you is there's an old expression in the market: the longer the channel, the bigger the rut. And I might argue that that's a great looking price channel in there, especially when it just sort of perks up right up to the top and then just sort of sits there and just consolidates. So ironically enough, looking at the size of this channel, usually what you can do, and you might want to do this, it's kind of a fun assignment, is you actually take like the distance. Maybe we'll go there to there. And believe it or not, you can actually project this simply by turning this line straight up on its vertical axis. So I just eyeballed this, but hopefully you can see what I'm doing. But this is actually projecting that it wants to go take out those highs up there. So that's kind of cool. Also, too, kind of a thought of how this thing's going to look going forward. You can do things like connect the dots. It's such a simple approach, and yet it's remarkable how hopeful these lines can be. It's something along those lines. Boom, boom. And then really the one that I think is at play here is this one to that one. So that's probably the move that takes us up into here. You can almost see it down the road here. I don't know what these guys are going to do, but it sure looks like getting ready for something. Actually, Nick, I really would like for you to hook up with Kevin here. But Kevin is a huge fan. I guess you're going to come to this in the next few weeks. The way I really like to find momentum divergences in the marketplace is through a MACD histogram study, which is in essence a study of exponential moving averages. And you see how we went down, up, down, and then broke out here. And price was weak, but much weaker, even though momentum was not weaker. And then we surged up and broke out momentum-wise up through the top here. That's actually what we call a bullish momentum divergence. So this asset, believe it or not, is much, much stronger than what price would actually lead you to believe. And as I showed you earlier, Wyckoff checks. This area down in here, there's probably a ton of buy orders that if this thing ever could get down into this area, people will just buy the shit out of it. And I think that's sort of, you see how it dipped down into there, then jackknifed away. Then dipped down into there, right, if we zoom in on that. Dip down in there, jackknife away. Because there's just so many orders down here to buy, just sitting there unfilled. And then dips down, jackknifes away. So, and you heard me earlier say candle body lows for trade location. You can clearly see, look at that. Damn. This is why I say candle body lows for trade location. If you got filled there, oh my God, what a gift trade. And then it just did it again. So, and then, of course, if we actually go and W out here, well, Brian, he's going to get all crazy over his funny W's. So, it's interesting. Like a month or two ago when I talked to the public about crypto, I was like, oh, fuck, slow down, put your money away, wait. Now, this is we're on the other side, so it's a good sign. And actually, here's something really cool. Check this out. Remember I said earlier about trend lines. So here is a fantastic analogy of that. Can you see? Remember I said earlier, don't take the trade on the trend line break. You've got to find a W on the other side of this trend line. And look what the market did. It jumped up above it, then came back to it, then rallied away, and then literally just walked its way down this trend line. This is why you don't want to take a trade on a trend line break. You're asking for trouble. What do you think, Great Dilmuti? Is that shit that you're going to put in your notebook? I tell you, man, learn this stuff. I've been at this game 30 years. It probably took me 20 years to clue into that. Save yourself 20 years and write that down. Sorry, I get a little bit excited about this stuff. Now, can you see we've broken back above the trend line, and now do we get the W? So you can see the W is trying desperately to come in here. It's not a bad idea, and considering I do like the idea that we're, somewhere near the end of June, beginning of July here, there should be a seasonal pivot here, somewhere in here. Now, what I'm worried about right now is there like one more fuck you? And then we W and away we go. Could be. So, hasn't quite W'd yet. Definitely an attractive trade location. I think fundamentally I'm hearing that it's a pretty good name. I think this is a kind of a name that you could probably add to your shopping list. I really do. It's not a bad idea at all. I'm going to give that one. I'm going to say that's one of the best looking ones here tonight.
And Derek, I'm not sure if you know, or if anyone in chat knows, is the utility of the actual coin that you need the coin to use the network? Because I'm not sure on that one.
No, I'm not sure.
So you might actually have to have the coin itself to use it? Is that what you're saying?
Well, to use IPFS, you don't need Filecoin to use that. That's something that's been around for a while. But in order to get, I guess, the rewards and all that type of thing on the Filecoin, and use IPFS, you would have to use the Filecoin, right? So they reward you for, I think they call theirs proof of space, I think, or something like that.
That's cool.
So if you can, I guess, I don't know, maybe you set up some sort of wallet, I'd imagine, on your local, whatever your local storage device is, or your computer, and you share your hard drive space out, and they reward you with, I imagine they probably give you file coins, but I'm not 100% sure on that. That's
Sure.
usually the way
So,
it
so
works.
instead of spending like your energy on a proof of work or something, you're physically giving your hard drive space. Hence
Right.
the proof of space.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Okay.
like that. I like that. That
Yeah.
sounds good. Proof of space.
Yeah, here they call it proof of space time, is what they call it.
That's cool. That's cool. All right. I don't mind that, you know. And, you know, this is the kind of thing where if that W comes in tomorrow, I might just go pick some of that up. I've told you guys this. Maybe I haven't told you two. I know I told the class today. The level 3ers, I work with our level 3 students directly. And I told them today half of the reason why they're in the program and I teach these classes is because I use them to actually do the research to find me names so I can go buy. So it's working here. Perfect. Awesome. I mean, I haven't got time to do this research, so let's all do it together. Okay, so I don't mind that. Filecoin, that looks good. That's a very interesting story. Derek's giving it a thumbs up, and Nick's giving it a thumbs up. And Ben, does Ben consider this a scam coin? Survey says no. Nope, that's not it. Where's the scam? Nope, no scam. Phew. And obviously, because we just got a thumbs down rating on the video, so clearly somebody did not like us talking about these two names potentially being a scam. That guy, man, he was bitter. Holy jeez. Isn't these people on YouTube? How much are you paying to watch this video, people? I'm sorry. What was that again? They're so cruel. I swear.
You know, one of the interesting things, though, that I don't think a lot of people know about the YouTube algorithm is actually like downvoting it is better than just leaving and not voting at all for the creator.
Oh, is it?
It will still get it more action. The algorithm will say it's a more important video just because people are voting on it either way.
Oh, interesting. So what you're saying is I should encourage people to shit on my head.
Well, I maybe not that far, but yeah, I mean, you'll hear a lot of people say like, you know, if you like it, awesome, leave a like. If you don't, you know what, leave a dislike too. That's okay.
All right.
And they do it because it'll still get them points with the algorithm.
Okay, makes sense. So Owazal said Filecoin is a utility token that is meant to be used, giving token holders a right to use the network.
Cool.
Right. Okay. Great Delmoody says, LOL, I think I've cue you saying that in a prior video, but I'll add to it. Okay, cool. Intergalactic, planetary, intergalactic. Cues the Beastie Boys.
Yeah, it's a song lyric from 20 some years ago.
Well, what's so funny is that that's actually like modern Beastie Boys. Like, I was joking with somebody. I remember watching Beastie Boys videos from back in the 80s when they used to have the groupie high school girls running after them. Man, now that's forever ago. Anyway. Okay, I'm just showing my age now. Interesting. Look at that. Filecoin actually jumped $1.50 since we've been talking here. So somebody's obviously stepping in and buying it. It's not a bad looking chart, you know. If I'm a little old lady and I'm looking at trying to get into crypto and somebody's pitching me like, hey, you know, maybe buy this crypto as a way of distributing decentralized file sharing, I'm down. That sounds good. I like that story. So thank you. Awesome. Way to go. All right. Oh, Monero! Actually, this is a name from last cycle. Man, not many of these names from last cycle still hanging around. It's a XMR. And actually, these guys, didn't they used to be a big like stealth or privacy coin or whatever?
They are, yep.
So I'm surprised these guys actually still survive. Aren't the regulators shitting all over these privacy coins?
I think they're about trying to start something with them now. I mean, that's the latest news with them is that I forgot who came out and said it, but I mean, there's basically some news articles coming out now, which are, you know, putting some FUD out there in terms of, you know, bad guys using Monero, to be more anonymous or whatever.
Yeah.
Like with the whole pipeline hack and things like that. I guess there was an article that came out that basically said, um, a lot of these uh, hackers and whatnot want to use Monero now. The smart ones are using Monero. I think that's how it was described. The smart ones are using
Yeah.
Monero. Nobody.
I remember 5 years ago us talking about this, and everybody said, if you're a crook, do not use Bitcoin. That's the stupidest thing you could possibly do. You want to use these anonymous coins. So anyway, it's interesting this guy survived. Wasn't Dash also an anonymous coin? And I seem to remember Dash got shit on here recently, didn't it? Do you guys remember Dash?
Yeah, I know Dash, but I'm not sure if it's anonymous or not. I mean, even Monero, you can shield or unshield your transaction, so it can be I think it's by default it's anonymous or private, but there's an option to unshield, I think, your transaction as well. So
Yeah.
I think that's how they've probably been able to maintain visibility on exchanges. I mean, in terms of them allowing it, I would think like that's part of a good reason why they're still on some exchanges.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know whether you remember, but last cycle we had a lot of fun with Amanda and Dash. It was a great. Did you guys know me back then? We used to talk about Amanda's penthouse.
I did not.
No.
Yeah. So we played this whole damn thing the whole way up. I mean, it was insane how much money we made on this thing. There's a really good example. Great Demalti. You said you were going to write that down. Here's a really good example. The longer the channel, the bigger the run. And you could actually quite literally just sort of like measure. We all saw this happen on Doge. It just happened. So you can actually like measure this distance and then literally you're just going to take whatever the hell this distance is, probably there to there, right? The high to high. And then all you're going to do is you're just going to rotate this up. And, you got to make sure the line stays the same. And believe it or not, that's actually probably exactly what that level is right there, right? Just all it is just the longer the channel, the bigger the run. It's remarkable. I mean, you look at that and you go, it can't be that simple. There's no way it could be that simple. But believe it or not, it is. That half of this stuff is that simple. It's crazy. Anyway, I had one Verge, same thing. I think, have you guys ever heard me talk about Verge? That one, Jesus, we made a pile on that one. That was a fun one. But it was basically the exact same thing. Let's see, where can I show you it? Problem is, it's weird how half of the data on these things is just gone. Yeah, so can you guys see this? So this was this channel. I bought Verge at 2 sats. And I was selling all the way up here. I mean, just ridiculous making money. So anyway, so it's interesting. Verge is still sitting there just going, okay, so do I come back to a life now? I don't know. Maybe not. Okay, so let's get back to what we're supposed to be doing. XMR. So
yeah, so
any idea what the heck they're... Oh, that's not XMR. Sorry. Let me try again. Go ahead.
So it's proof of work. It's mined on CPUs, so it's ASICs resistant.
That's interesting. CPUs. Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's one reason. So, not GPUs, CPUs, eh?
Yep, CPUs. Yep.
Huh.
So I mean, probably the more profitable, CPUs in mining are like the AMD chips that are out with, I don't know, 32 cores or something like that. Like big, large chips, lots of cores.
Okay. Simple TA. And really, I mean, we've seen the whole damn space do this, right? It'd be actually interesting to see on a percentage basis. So this guy moved up about 900% or so. And here, if we go off of, let's use that data 0. Right there. So there's 0. So actually, it moved up about 1,300%. Fuck me, eh? Jesus. Did I do that right? There's 0, 0. Yeah. Yeah, geez, even more than that. It's like 1,500%. Damn. Did Bitcoin even do that? I don't even know if Bitcoin even did that. There's Bitcoin. So from there, no. So isn't that interesting? XMR actually outperformed Bitcoin here. Isn't that incredible? I bet you if you ask 20 people, oh maybe not, yeah. I bet you if you ask 20 people which asset did better over this past cycle, XMR or Bitcoin, nobody would say XMR. That's interesting, eh? Huh. I don't know. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's fascinating. So, technically speaking, what do you make out of this? Same thing as I said before. It's very, very difficult to slow people down through this. You probably got some great anecdotal evidence through bearish momentum divergences that you were walking into trouble buying up here. Let's see. Survey says, yep. So can you see this big spike here? There's your momentum peak. And then this spike up here, much higher price, but the momentum is actually lower. And then this is lower, and it starts breaking down. Even this rally to new highs, still lower, and then fucking all hell breaks loose. So, I think there was lots of warning that there was problems here. The only problem is, honestly, if you're watching this channel, you have to understand that there's not going to be anybody who's going to stop you from buying here. You just have to somehow understand that, hey, assets can't go like this forever. At some point, they have to come back to reload zones. It's so painful, it's so difficult, and it's impossible to slow people down through this. But there is an absolute perfect textbook case scenario study of why. You just have to be patient in this crazy game. Market structure, that's obviously a pretty big level right in there. And then what I see here is it looks like the market just sort of stair-stepped its way higher through all these W's. Which in itself is a pretty good sign, right? Show me a new high and I'll show you a buy. Fascinating how the dip came right down into 78.6. I love 78.6 for trade location. And also, too, take away from this, like Great Del Monte, notice this tail right in here. Right, because there's the original W. Down, up, down, breakout. You can see there's a big fight doji right here. Look at the size of that doji. So these tails, you might even argue that this doji here is actually the bottom, and that level is the breakout buy level. And notice that's actually probably, there was a ton of buy orders just sitting there waiting to buy this thing down at that level. There's my crazy 78.6. So, as it stands right now, we've actually moved off of those lows. I would almost be thinking, and if you wanted to buy this, that you actually do the reload zone going the other direction. Remember we talked about candle body lows for trade location. Notice also too, that's a nice notch, right? So on the volume profile, we would put a big heart right here. And we'd call that a muwak. And just to help you understand what that is, think of sort of the male anatomy. We won't use the sexist female, we'll use the male anatomy. So Mr. Arnold Schwarzenegger, or I used to ask the girls on the site to give me the latest stripper that they all loved, and I can't remember their names. But anyway, think of Arnie, flexing his boobs. And of course, this is where all the girls fall in love, right? So hugs and kisses right in there. And notice that that just so happens to be the reload zone. I love this kind of concept too for confluence, because really nothing in this business is guaranteed. Nothing at all. Anybody who says to you that they guarantee something's going to happen, you should run the fucking other direction. That's just a potion for disaster. So what I like is kind of like crypto, right? Don't trust, verify. So way we verify in technical analysis is through the concept of confluence. If we can have a whole bunch of technical indicators and a whole bunch of location, and it all is pointing to one location, then hey, odds are we probably got something to work with. Well, I don't know, Great Del Muti. Do you know a male stripper that the girls all love that we can talk about his manly boobs and, and how the women? I mean, I could go the female route, but I don't want to come across as sexist. All right. So, anything else we want to add to the equation here, boys?
Think I'm good.
Okay.
No, not that I'm aware of. Nope.
I do like the fact, remember we had like Justin Sun's idea? We said that, gee whiz, there was a nasty top up here. I actually like the idea that this is a very crisp V. This is what they call a V top. Straight up, straight down. So you can already see we've broken the trend line. Now let's see if Derek and Nick are paying attention. Should we buy the break of that trend line?
If it forms a W.
Following the break?
Well, no. I mean, you wait for a W.
Side.
On the other side? Yeah. Okay. All right. Good. Have we formed a W? Let's see. What's this low here? 222.10.6. And this low, 221. Oh, how painful.
No.
No W yet. But, if you are interested, I think you really want to keep an eye. Maybe another, and this is sort of, remember I said earlier, I kind of like the idea of one more FU in this space. Just to clean out any weak hands. But, this is kind of like the file coin where this isn't terrible. And at least we're starting to come back into areas where you can get, like, seriously interested. So I like that. Okay, why don't we'll take a screenshot. Oh, and, for reference, rally's back up the other side. You can do the same logic going the other way. What I would say here too is probably things like 50% rules. In fact, Colin at Hero, he kind of likes this zone. I used to work with a guy in New York. His name was Ray Burchett, and he actually taught me the significance of 38.2. Fibonacci retracements a million years ago. That's that level right there. And that's sort of like what I like to call it the first stop target. So we'll find out, is this actually still a bear? Usually we bounce right into that 38.2 and then we go, okay, are we still a bear? If so, we're going to continue heading lower. Or are we a bull? Which, we might actually like W out and start taking off, but odds are likely if we hold this level and hold these lows, then we're probably in a trading range. Notice we talk about candle body highs for trade location. Remember I said that was a V top. Do you remember how Justin's coin looked like? It was up, then down, then went up like that, and then failed. So ironically enough, if this thing actually did rally up, just like Justin Tron coin, right, and then failed here, that actually would be quite cliche. Let's go back, just out of curiosity, I want to see if that old one did it. Oh, darn. Give me a second. Well, it's called Tron, right? Well, I think that's what it was. Tron. Yeah, okay, so you see, guys, candle body highs, what would you think? Would that have been a sick fucking trade location or what?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Anyone? Nick? What do you think? You've been
Well,
looking to
I mean,
sell
look at what
level?
happened. Look what happened after it. Yeah, of course.
I'm trying to set you up with nice softball answers here. Anyway, point of the matter here is, fuck me, what a level. Jesus H. Christ. So learn this stuff, people. 30 years in this business. The reason why I'm doing this, I'm trying to help you. I know it sounds stupid, but believe it or not, I'm trying to help you. So, Mr. Del Muti, write that down. But I already know you have. Everybody else, get a copy of Mr. Del Muti's notes. So what did I say? We were looking at Monero, was it? I think we were still looking at Monero. Yeah.
Yep.
So, actually, it must have been something else. Because I had a bunch of stuff written on here. So, keep an eye on the V-top. And, of course, it being tested. Like so. And then I guess what really jumped out at me when I did that was I'm a big fan of 88.6 for trade location, and notice candle body highs, and there's our buddy 88.6 sitting up there. So counter trend rally, and actually, interestingly enough, if this thing can go in W, interesting, not quite a W. This can't be the same thing we were looking at before. This looks different.
I mean, it was a narrow, but I don't know if it was a different exchange or what you were.
Yeah, it must have been,
I didn't see what exchange you were on.
Anyway, it's no big deal. So what I would just say is something like AB, not move there, boom, boom, and then clone that. CD off of that low, and that's going to take us up into there. So we're starting to get up into reload short zones. We also have this little one, A, B, and then you can take that one and CD. That also takes us up. So it looks like we got a date with Mountain Man, that's for certain. Looks like also too that could be a stab up against value high, kind of like Mr. Arnie's reference there earlier. So you can see the valley and the profile. So there's probably like a big node right in here. So I don't know whether we're going to be able to get all the way up top there. My hunch is we're probably going to rally up into this area and start running into some sellers. So anyway, not a bad idea. I just don't know whether I'd really want to buy it right there. I think I'd much rather want to get in down here. I want to get that other chart though. That's better looking right up. Maybe it was like USD or something I was looking at. Oh, is it that? Oh, there we go. Yeah, there it is. All right. So let's put, this is Ray Burchett. And Colin, the reason why I mentioned him earlier was he likes to call this the pump chaser zone, but in this case I would call it the dump chaser zone. And I think Colin uses that expression. I'm not going to use that for him. But I do like the idea that you might find that if this is still a bear, that this 38.2 to 50% actually rejects price action. So if we just can't get up through here, then you know that the bear is still very active here. Interesting. I do really like the idea of nibbles down in this. Oh, that's a percentage. Here, let's go. What is that? So that's down in sort of I don't know, $180 area. I don't mind that. The only problem is at 270, it's kind of expensive. Okay, I'm talking way too much. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna say a bit too expensive. Okay, interested. FA privacy is good. TA decent, hovering around reload. Okay, and then Nick says like privacy use case, a little scared of potential regulation. Yeah, and I think that's a really good point. I wouldn't be surprised if SEC and stuff like that, they really come after these privacy coins here. Don't be shocked.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where I tend to shy away from those types of investments to where there could be just a huge negative fundamental driver that appears out of nowhere.
Yep.
But I do like the privacy use case a lot.
Okay. All right. I think you've been waiting all night to talk about this Aave.
I don't know if I've been waiting all night. I am pretty big on DeFi. I love the idea of having peer-to-peer lending and borrowing of funds, which is what Aave allows you to do. Mm-hmm. You get incentivized to lend your crypto, whether it's stable coins or Bitcoin or ETH or a whole plethora of other crypto that Aave will allow you to collateralize. And then you will get a return off that. And then you can also borrow any of those or most of those coins as well, and essentially pay the lenders their APY they're getting for lending you that money. And so it's a completely peer driven lending and borrowing system, which is pretty neat. It's to me, it's kind of how borrowing money should work. Like we have this totally backwards mortgage system where you can have no money down and get a house mortgage nowadays, where in Aave you need to be over collateralized. So you can usually borrow up to, I don't know, 70 or 75% of your collateral. I don't think that's a smart idea to borrow that much, but you can, and you can get that borrow done, that loan done in about as long as it takes to do a transaction. So as long as you have the collateral.
Just as long as the money that you're borrowing is, and this is what I don't understand about this. So you're going to put $1 in to borrow 70 cents back?
You could, if that's what you want.
Why would you do that? Why
So,
not just use your dollar?
So, I mean, you talk about rich people. Rich people never sell their stuff. They never sell their real estate. They just take loans off it.
Okay.
And so I think it's a similar use case where, like, if you have, let's say you have 10 Bitcoin that you never really want to get rid of. Let's say you have some capital gains from this year, and you might get paid, I don't know, 4 or 5% for having your Bitcoin on the platform as collateral. You can take a loan out on that Bitcoin, push it out to fiat, pay your taxes for the year, and then slowly pay that loan back with the interest you're getting from that collateral.
Oh, okay. Huh. I suppose the interest itself, though, would be taxable as well.
Yep, it is.
Okay.
So Del Moody had a question about how they handle defaults. So there will be a point. So I had said each crypto is a little different. They'll allow some crypto to some collateral to be borrowed against more heavily than others. But there's a limit. And if you reach that limit to where you now owe a high enough percentage, it will automatically liquidate you for a portion of what you owe. So that's why I was just kind of hinting earlier. You usually don't want to get anywhere near what they will allow you to borrow, because if the market tanks like it did in May, odds are you probably just got liquidated because your collateral just took such a hit.
Whoa. So if you gave them like a bunch of Bitcoins and you borrowed some money against that, and then Bitcoin's price fell dramatically, you could be in trouble?
If you borrowed towards the high end of what they will let you borrow. So you always just want to be, you always want to play it safe.
And so Mr. Delmoody here says defaults like that is they just take your Bitcoins or whatever you're using as collateral. Just boom,
yep, they will take portions of your collateral if you get over a certain kind of loan to value ratio.
You wonder whether the market gets pretty vulnerable and we actually get like certain sort of thresholds hit that people might encourage the market to break to actually initiate those liquidations.
Yep. No, I mean that is definitely part of it. I think DeFi liquidations, like Aave liquidations at least, are probably less of a driver than a lot of the other margin liquidations, because you're not borrowing essentially using like any leverage or large amounts of leverage when you're borrowing, whereas like it seems like a lot of the cascading liquidations from May was from people using very high leverage.
Okay.
I don't know that for certain, but from what I've read, it hints towards that at least.
I'm a total noob at this. We've got, for whatever it's worth, we got Farmer Dave on the site. He is so good at this DeFi stuff. So I don't know whether you've had a chance to hook up with him.
I haven't.
I think he did a presentation last Thursday, didn't he, with Julian? Seemed to
nice. I'll have to go back and watch that.
Yeah, and he's one smart-ass motherfucker.
Yeah, he did it on the Daily Brief there.
Yeah, so Derek, did you watch that?
Yeah, it was really good.
You enjoyed that, eh? So that's good. Yeah. I'm not really that smart at this. I suppose Sjord and Julian, they're hip deep in this DeFi stuff with Luna. I think.
Yep, Luna's got a few. Yep.
And if I understand correctly, Luna kind of got hit there recently, and so as a result, they're sweating a little bit. Good luck, boys. Oh boy. That's the thing is, I'm not that smart, and so I just go, hey, there's a W. I'm just gonna buy that. I'm just gonna own it. There's gonna be no leverage. There's gonna be no interest. I just own the asset. If it doubles in price, great. Out goes half. I mean, that's all I do.
But I mean, that's just one. That's just one part of Aave, right? Isn't Aave also, you can stake your Aave and get some percentage return on that? I mean,
Yeah, there is Aave staking.
that,
You can provide Aave as collateral, or you can stake it.
yeah.
Hmm.
So you can provide liquidity basically, right? And that's a little bit the way my mind works. That's a little bit safer. I'm more on that side as
So
opposed to.
you wouldn't have anything liquidated or anything?
No, I think you just stake. Basically, you just stake your coins and get a percentage return on whatever, however much you have staked in there.
And
Yep.
that's providing Aave with liquidity? Is that how the line goes?
Yeah, and they give you Aave tokens or some sort of Aave reward. I think it's
Yeah.
called as a different term of the token, but it's
See, what I
actually I think
saw
it's
people fall into this trap with master nodes last
mm,
last cycle. And ADA, you remember ADA?
I mean, remember, it's still around, but
what's it called,
Yeah,
Cardano?
Cardano. Yeah, I remember one guy I was
Hmm.
visiting over in Switzerland, and he was just loaded up with these master nodes. And then the whole damn market fell apart, and I don't even know if he even held on to them or not. So,
yeah,
yeah.
and it as long as you're just providing collateral, it's there. I mean, there's no danger to your funds. And
Okay.
so that's what I like. I have a lot of stable coins over on Polygon right now on Matic,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, you can get about right now. I think earlier today it was about 4% on your USDC, 6 or 7% on your DAI, and about 10% on your Tether.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, if you're a trader to me and you have a lot of your stack in stable coins and crypto in between trades, it could be a good idea to just have it parked in Aave, making your 10% passively on anything that's not in your trades.
Do you have to hold it in there for a certain period of time, or can you take it out whenever you want to?
Nope, there's no lockup. You can put it in. It's instantaneously compounding, so you can physically watch it go up by about the 1 millionth of a coin, and it'll
And how
change
long
about.
is the hold period of the interest? Is it like you can liquidate them immediately, or you get paid in
There's
like
a
four
cooldown.
months?
There's a 10-day cooldown. I think you can to unstake it. There's a cooldown period of 10 days.
Maybe for staking, but to provide collateral, you can
Oh, okay.
take it off whenever you want.
Hmm.
And
All right.
it there's no lockups, there's no nothing. You can just get your APY while you're sitting there providing collateral, and then take it out, and you have your compounded interest that you've gotten for that amount of time that it was there.
All right. Somebody over there on YouTube says, I think a guy who took a fiat loan to buy a house paid it off using ETH and Aave loan. You guys ever heard that story?
I mean, I think that's actually fairly common. There's a ton of people in crypto now that are quote unquote maybe crypto rich, that they're doing that all over the place. They're buying things in outside of the crypto world with crypto loans and then paying it back through things like DeFi, the interest they get.
No, I don't understand any of that. I wish I could, but maybe I ought to think about that for our Hawaiian adventure.
I do kind of have a feeling that in maybe 5 or 8 or 10 years, once we get enough kind of application intelligence built over these protocols and it's actually easy for people to use, I think DeFi will be pretty integrated with a lot of people's lives in 10 years for sure. Even if they don't know they're using it.
Yeah, well, and I wouldn't be so, like with Fjord and his Luna. Um, I see that a lot of actually what's happening is that there are other services that are coming on selling a slight like Luna will give you like 10%, and then there are services coming along shilling products to the public at like 7%. They're using Luna's 10%, and then they're pocketing 3% for their profit.
Yep, exactly.
So
I expect
cheeky.
banks are going to do that with savings accounts.
Yeah.
Because if you can get 10% on Tether and Aave,
Yeah.
You can, if you come out as a bank account and say, hey, we'll give you 2 or 3%, I mean, people are going to jump on that because better than the 0.1% you can get now.
Yeah. Okay,
And they'll hold your
so
crypto for you.
looking at this chart, I'm sorry, Derek, you wanted to add something?
Well, now I was gonna say, and they'll hold the crypto for you, right? They'll have to have the back end to make everything look nice, where you can just deposit everything in the bank, and they'll,
Yep, the banks would, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, it'll make it nice for the average Joe.
Maybe that's even what the sort of big brother in the U.S. wants, is to actually build out that business model. And then, of course, they're going to make it illegal for American citizens to do anything else. So, anyway.
Oh boy.
All right. So, technically speaking, I gotta say, I don't really like what I see here.
We're going negative.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's tough to actually even draw an A, B, C, D off of this. This is not a good sign. When I see a market
Well, that's an M right
slam
there,
down
isn't
like
it?
this. Pardon me?
So that's an M right there, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it is, which isn't good. But like what I'm worried about is the size, because what it means is we have to go to like a log chart. Then you're gonna try and figure out these damn ABCDs off the log charts. The only way you can do it is you gotta eyeball it, which is such a nuisance. But hold on a second. So we go clone, and then we will have to eyeball it. Boom, 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 boom. That takes us here to here, and then here to here. So you can see A, B, C, D. That's about right. And probably what this means is this tail right here. It's actually the focal point against that 88.6. Also, too, remember we talked about Arnold and his bosoms. So you can see there's obviously a huge hole in this profile. So there's probably some work to be done in here. And I guess the question I would have is if they pay people in Aves, then doesn't that mean that if the people want to actually realize a monetary gain, then they're going to have to be selling the Aves, right?
So that is for like if you're staking Aave, most of the rewards for the various collateral, you will have the majority of your APY will be paid in the coin that you are providing collateral for.
Oh, so it's not Aave, it's whatever the coin is.
Some of it is Aave. Right now they have an incentivized return where they have an additional smaller return that is also that is Aave. So it's a portion is Aave right now. That's new as of I want to say the last month or so. But
okay. Anyway, look at it. I mean, it's probably a good thing that we have a V top up here. And I mean, you can see last top that we had to break the trend line, and then where the heck does the structure come in? This didn't even really form that well, but I guess maybe something through there, but and I don't even see anything to work with. Unfortunately, for this, I'm gonna have to go from this high. It's kind of messy, so something like that. I guess that could be constructive if we can start Wing out over here. It's got some work to do, no doubt about it. I did not like when I saw this and pulled this up. I did not like that. That was a bad sign right there. You can see the break, and boom, down she goes. Guess we did a bit of a Wyckoff check down in here off of that high. So there, you can see it tagged it right there. So I just don't like the look of this. I mean, you're kind of swimming upstream here. Having said that, if the W does start coming in here, I think you can start thinking uppy. It's just you're kind of swimming upstream. It's a tough one. It's probably not a location I would be really jazzed about. I would, if this thing did tank down into here, then I'd be like, oh shit, yeah, let's go grab some. Here, yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one. Not the best location.
Yeah, the token itself doesn't have an enormous amount of utility. So I'm personally I'm very bullish on it just to use the platform. I don't really have a ton of interest in holding the token itself. Or at least, I mean, obviously if it's in a good location, maybe that's different, but
And you're going to make your decision of which coin to be interested in staking based on the coin itself, not Aave. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm supplying Tether, Bitcoin, and Ethereum to Aave and Polygon. I don't own any Aave.
Oh,
And that's actually incentivized in Matic tokens, Polygon tokens on that platform.
So you get paid in the Polygon using Aave's platform, but you're also going to get a little payment of Aave as well, or no?
Not on the Polygon network. So Aave is on Ethereum and Aave is on Polygon. It has one on both of the chains, and so the Ethereum version of Aave gets paid out some incentives in Aave. The Polygon version gets incentives paid out in Polygon.
Okay. So, I guess technically speaking, let's go see what the indicators look like. A little bit of a bottom, but nothing really to get too excited about. Because that tail is so big, it'd be interesting to see on other exchanges whether that tail is there or not. Somebody was like, dump, right? But then it got quickly gobbled up. Yeah. I mean, it's nothing that's going to get me over the top excited. But I know it's like DeFi, and so as a result, that in itself is definitely, this thing's definitely in play. But as I said earlier, this isn't a location where I could be even interested in buying just yet. I have to let it come down a little bit more. Meh. I mean, what I'm hearing from you, Nick, is it's not so much the coin that you want to own, but you love the network and you love the story.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm almost on the wrong call. We're talking about like, do we want to buy these and make money off these coins? And I'm just like, I just want to use all these networks and these platforms because they're cool.
Well, but see, that's an excellent point. So we'll say, great network, so investment idea. That's probably the way I would look at it. And that's perfectly fine. That's not this is the right call for that. I want you to say exactly that. So.
And I think they were one of.
I'm sorry.
I said I think they were one of the kind of the first. I can say the very first, but one of the first DeFi networks. They rebranded they were called Ethland before. They rebranded.
Okay.
Maybe last year sometime. Yeah. So I mean they've been around for a while. But they rebranded to Aave.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people talk about this. There's no doubt about that. So, okay, and then what do you say here? Love the platform itself. Use it avidly. All right, that's Nick. And Derek says, interested a bit lower. I like the idea of DeFi and earning interest. TA a bit sloppy. Yeah, okay, cool like that. Okay, do we want to just sort of like kind of white out this Shiba thing?
I mean, we can if you want. It's essentially, it was made last fall. It's a clone, essentially a clone of Dogecoin. It's trying to be a better version of Dogecoin. So and I'm using quotes because like
does what's his face use this?
Elon, as far as I know, does not. I forgot what we're calling Elon now.
Okay, fine, whatever.
Yeah, he is not, as far as I know, into Shiba Inu.
Didn't this one, or was one of these coins, what's his face? Vitalik got a whole bunch of these coins.
It was this one.
Was it? And then he just came out and just shit on it?
Yeah,
it was this one. Is that what this is? Where he just
So you might want to check a different chart. I know it does go back into like late 2020 is probably when it was actually created.
Which one do you want me to look at?
Oh man, I don't know what it was on first. You could
Polo's been around forever. Hey, we can look at Shiba versus Russian rubles.
The Russian ruble, nice. But yeah, it went from essentially like just yeah, it's just the tiniest amount. It's went up like thousands upon thousands of X's.
Let's see
But-
what that
Says
is. Oh, there you go.
Vitalik
There you go.
burned $6 billion worth of Shiba.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there was this I don't know
Good
if you call it
heavens,
a
look at this. Somebody's going nuts here on YouTube. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
These are just all scammers coming in.
Yeah. All right. Anyway.
You notice, yeah.
So that big spike, that's where that big thing you were talking about there a moment ago.
Yeah, I mean it just went wild.
So is this the kind of thing where you would entertain taking a shot on it if it came right back down against the bottom, or this is just a waste of time?
To me, it's a waste of time, but I don't know. I mean, there's an argument to be made because you look at some of these coins that really have no use case. They're meme coins, but I mean, when they pump like crazy.
Yeah, well, like I like the idea of the Doge as its story. It was a great story to begin with. I don't know whether this corresponded with Mr. Musk's pumping of Doge itself, or whether this was sort of like, hey, we want to leverage the Doge pump, and so we're going to do this. I don't know.
I think it was more that the second one.
Yeah. I mean, all I'll say is, as we had sort of said earlier, it's always good to have a good fundamental driver. I love those kind of like Filecoin stories, the decentralized video sharing. Love that. I mean, that's exactly why we're here in this crypto space. This thing here, my question would be, why not just go buy Doge? Like, why own this thing? Is there any specific selling feature of this that makes it unique, special, different, whatever? I don't know. Is there? Probably not.
Not as far as I know. Although Coinbase did just announce they're listing it like today. They announced it, I think, for some reason.
Yeah, okay.
They just want the volume because it's going to give them money.
Yeah, probably. And like Coinbase charges a very high fee, don't they?
Yeah, I've heard they do at least. I don't know.
Yeah. So TA wise, our rule. Let's get a nice W on the other side of this, if you are interested. But I don't see any reason. This just made a new low here. That is a cute little fractal. So, the sharp shooter traders out there, they probably should have just bought that level there, right? Boom, 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 boom. But this is probably a good analogy of your trying to catch a falling knife. I mean, you have no idea where the hell the bottom is here. And my hunch is probably this little rally was on your Coinbase. Hey, Coinbase is doing it? All right, cool. So that's about all I can say on that. Internal-wise, not really enough data to actually really come up with a conclusive sort of analysis here. I mean, maybe we do like something like a 12-hour chart or something. Isn't that weird? 12 isn't on there. Why would I have a 21-hour chart? That's kind of weird. I think I can go. How do I do that? I think I go 12. Yeah, 12 minutes. How about hours? An hour. There we go. Okay, so a little bit more data. I mean, yeah, so off of that fractal, it looks like we have like little Davo momentum buy signals. Can't really see anything there on volume. But so I can explain, I can understand the rally based on that. Having said that, this is kind of just sort of no man's land for me. I wouldn't really be interested one way or the other. So I think we'll probably just leave it at that. If you know of a reason fundamentally to be interested in this thing, participate, let us know. I mean, I'd be interested, but I don't have any reason to participate in this, so I'd probably just say pass. I'm going to say, for me, I'll say, okay, location, but what's the reason to own this? All right, Derek says, not interested, what's the story? And Nick says, I don't like meme coins. All right. Well, there you go. Okay. OKB. Oh boy, there's a mouthful.
Yeah, I think it's just the one set of OKB.
Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. And what's the story here? Is this OK Coins? OK Coin, isn't that interesting? So that's a Chinese crypto exchange, right? Is that the same people or different people?
Yeah, so I think this is the utility token for that exchange, but I'm not 100% on that.
Okay. Centralized exchange token. So this has got to be this kind of like Binance coin, the way that they do that.
That's my impression.
Yeah, it's the equivalent of a Binance. Yeah.
Okay. So would we have as blockchain purists? Would we have any interest in participating in this thing? I wouldn't. That's just.
I mean, I'm not interested in it, but
As a blockchain purist, the last thing in the world I want to do is buy these centralized coins. I don't even quite understand. I think, if I understand correctly, they facilitate the construction of sort of like centralized DeFi. Is that correct?
Maybe.
Anyone? No comment?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I don't know about them.
All right, Nick, you want to throw anything else or?
I mean, a lot of these types of tokens, if it is similar to some of these other utility exchange tokens, they either will let you get better trading fees on the platforms, or they are the actual currency, like BNB is. So it's probably one of those use cases for it.
All right.
I mean, it's very similar in Binance Coin, where you do get. I'm looking here, like you get access to initial exchange offerings, that type of thing. So
Yeah.
if you're into that type of stuff and you have an OK account or whatever it is, and it might make sense. But
So it's
because
kind of
that's the
like
utility for
bribery.
it, but
What I would say is, in the stock market, they used to call this laddering, and they would call it tide selling. That's another good sort of description. Where if you participate in this deal, then we will give you special treatment over here. I hate that kind of stuff. Absolutely hate that. It's terrible. The banks used to do it. They used to say things like, if you have your mortgage with us, we'll give you a special rate on this CD or something, or we'll cut you a break on user fees and stuff. And I absolutely hate that stuff. So anyway, long and short of it here, just like I think it was off of Justin Sun's name, whenever you see this really, really well-defined top here, it means the market has probably found a ceiling. Remember we talked about candle body highs earlier? This one isn't nearly as pronounced. You still had to take a bit of heat, but still not a bad level to be thinking about getting off. When if you see these kind of rallies, even this one's not a bad level to try and liquidate. So the point, I guess, aside from, I wanted to sell and get out, but what are you going to think going forward? Well, we can't think that this is a bull until this trend line, you see a W on the other side of it. So this is going to be it's going to take a while. And it might even look like this. I've seen this happen so many times, where you get the big break and you're like, well, Beamish, where's the W? Where's the W? Where's the W? Where's the W? Oh, there's the W. And it takes a while. And then there is the actual trade right there. So, oh boy, this is going to take a long
all
time.
in one candle. That was one day.
Well, bang, and then bang,
3
bang,
days.
and then bang, bang. But my hunch is this was right through the orgy of some sort of DeFi, rah, 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 and, fucking Alan doing his thing and all that stuff. Also probably too, like when Ethereum went kind of nuts there, it's probably also was rolling on that. Fib-wise, you can see the original market structure bottom. I mean, here's your weekly Ws, all that kind of stuff. It's down here, so, and you can see the top of value. Whoever's running OKCoin, they're long this thing from here. So anybody who comes in and buys up here, you're not buying where OKCoin is long. OKCoin has no interest in being long this thing up here. They're long from down here. So ironically enough, usually when these blow-off tops finish, all the market does is it just comes back and just revisits value. And then all the guys that sold all the way up here to the public, they just go and buy their original coins right back where they got them. So that's what I would expect to happen here. And, you know, you could probably just draw simple things like trend lines there and there. And probably you're looking for an event window. It's probably somewhere in there that this happens. And really, you know, we've been talking about a flush out here into the end of July. Or, excuse me, end of June, beginning of July. Anywhere in here, you could have a nice little FU move just to piss a bunch of people off here over the next week or two. I could easily see that. So, really simply put, there ain't nothing for me to be interested in this thing at all. But, what the heck, there might be down the road. Keep an eye on it. And I'm going to say, not interested in centralized DeFi. Not interested. Not something I'm interested in. All right. Well, I think we got the universal. Next. Okay.
So,
last coin for the night. Oh, you got something to add?
I was just going to say, or is this the last coin of the night? Because I think the 30th coin was DAI, and I think
okay.
Ben got rid of that and threw in the 31st coin. But do we want to do Neo, or should we just hold on it till next week?
Well, we got a couple hours. Oh, we can call it a night. What do you think, Derek? Gonna leave it up to you, Derek. You making the call. What do we do here?
It's top of the hour. We can call it. Well, 11:08. So let's call it.
Okay. Well, what do you think, YouTube? Did you get value out of that 2 hours that you paid absolutely nothing for? I hope so. You know, this is making me smarter, definitely. I want to be able to have a good conversation in this space. So I need to brush up on this. In fact, Kevin and I, we spend so much time lately trading warrants and stocks and shit that we just never got around to doing this this review of crypto lately. So if anything, it's really good that we're getting on this. So I appreciate it. Thank you so much, gentlemen.
That's a lot of fun.
Yeah? You enjoying yourselves?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Excellent.
for sure.
Good.
100%.
Okay. So we're, I guess, about a third of the way into the list. I guess probably we'll probably finish this maybe middle of summer, something like that. And then maybe you over on YouTube, maybe write in the comments, suggestions, constructive criticism, please. How we can make this better. Is there anything that you'd like to see that we're kind of missing? We'll try and get things like people on camera and stuff. Hey, Kevin, this guy here, fucking Nick here, he's in Albuquerque with you. So you got an extra neighbor. I'm so excited. I want to see a picture of Kevin and Nick here having a beer on a patio or something. Okay, Kevin? So you've got your orders. We're going to drag you out, Nick, and get you liquored up whether you like it or not. You probably don't drink, do you?
I mean, I just finished a beer while we were doing this. So.
Oh, there you go. All right. Okay, why don't we leave it at that? Thank you so much, gentlemen. Couple hours every Wednesday. I think this is great exercise. Really appreciate your guys' input and participation. I don't know how the hell we're going to do this, but do we want to try and do a collective bye for now?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do a normal paced one.
Okay, what's a normal pet? Is there anything normal with
last week's was like 10 or 15 seconds, I felt.
Okay, so we'll do a countdown, 3, 2, 1, and we'll just do a simple bye for now. Okay, sound good?
Okay.
So well, I sure hope you enjoyed our third episode of TRI's Top 100 Crypto Review. And the only thing left for us to say at this point is 3, 2, 1. Bye for now. I tried to do that. That was a little better, wasn't it?
That was much better than last week's. We'll get better each week.
All right.
Yep,
Have a good night,
sounds good.
everybody.